Most of the games you played in the last assignment involved repeating patterns. This meant that you did the same thing to get from one term to the next. So for example, you might have always added 3, or you might have always multiplied by 2. This could also be done in pictures. So for example, we have a smile, a triangle, smile, smile, triangle. It's a pretty easy pattern to predict. Depending upon the numbers, it might be hard to figure out exactly what the rule is. So some general ideas to think about. If the numbers are getting larger, it's either going to be an adding or multiplying pattern. If the numbers are getting smaller, it's subtracting or dividing. Then we want to look at how quickly they're changing. So if numbers look like they're consistently getting bigger, it might be an adding problem. But if it looks like the numbers get bigger really quickly, it's possibly multiplying. So in order to do this and figure out exactly what it is, we're going to have to check individual pairs. So if we think that it's an adding problem, we'll look at one pairs and we'll subtract the second one minus the first one. And we'll do this over and over again to see if they're always the same. If we think it's a multiplying pattern, we'll take the second number divided by the first. Then we'll move on to the next pair. And again, we'll see if that's always the same. Let's look at a couple examples. For some of these patterns, some of you might be able to easily look at it and figure out the pattern. If so, that's great. But we're going to go through and look at the process. So when you look at this, you realize, oh, well, it's going up. So it's either going to be multiplying or adding. I look at the numbers and they're not getting super big. So I'm guessing that maybe we're adding. What I need to figure out is how much I'm adding. So you might know 7 plus what equals 15. If you're not sure, grab your calculator. We're going to look at each pair of numbers. So we're going to start with 15 and 7. What I'm going to do on my calculator is I'm going to take 15 minus 7. That equals 8. That means I added 8 to get from 7 to 15. I'm going to write that down. Now, in order to be a pattern, it needs to be true for all the pairs of numbers. So I'm going to scoot over to the next pair, 15 and 23. So again, I'll take my calculator, 23 minus 15. Ah, good sign. It gives me 8. So 15 plus 8 was 23. Now, just to be sure that's my pattern, I'm going to try another one. So I'll take 31 minus 23. And yeah, it's 8 again. So any pair I check should be a difference of adding 8. The reason that's helpful is now I can find my next numbers. So I can take 39 and I'm going to add 8. Again, feel free to use your calculator. 39 plus 8 is 47. I can do it again by adding another 8. 47 plus 8 is 55. And I could continue my pattern indefinitely.